at the back in the commercial vehicles, do not be surprised. Eliozu to Choba now is 500 naira. Remember, this 500 naira is what it would have taken you to if you are going to some parts of Ogoni. That, yes, 500 naira is what would have taken you to do that. If you're going to maybe Emoha even, somewhere, that's what you would have needed, 500 naira to get there. But now, 500 naira will take you from Eliozu to Choba. Understand? Do you know where Eliozu is? So I'm making us see. You know Eliozu, I don't need to, you know the Eliozu flyover now. Let's just put it there. And those people loading there just after the flyover on the side to Choba, 500 naira. It used to be 400, which was high as well. Eliozu to Rumo-C, it's 400. It used to be 300. Rumo-Koro to Rumo-Dara is now 200. It used to be 100 naira. It's now 200 naira. Now that they have said that the NNPC JMD had said, well, the flight prices would be determined by market forces. So today it might be high, tomorrow it could be low. When it comes down, would prices of transport change? You know what goes up doesn't come down in this country, especially with this kind of situations. Are we going to see? So does it mean that maybe, let's say in the next 6 months, the prices of transport fares will come down, and then in the next, maybe something happens in the market, in the next it goes up again? That's how we're not going to have something that's stable. Possibly that's the situation. I can't know. Would have to wait for time to tell. But at the moment, these are the differences that you would see in transportation. Eliozu to Rukboku is 200 naira. It used to be 100 naira. Rumo-Koro to Mile 3 is now 350 naira. 100 naira was added. It used to be 250. An interesting one is Rumo-Koro to Omok. Omoko is now 2,000 naira. It used to be 1,500. If you are going to travel out of Port Harcourt, oh goodness me, I know Bayelsa is about 3,000. Bayelsa is about 3,000 if you're going to Bayelsa now. That's money that would have taken you to Warri back in the day, but that's not the situation anymore. If you are going to Warri, in fact, just hold your 6,000 naira. That's it. I'm pretty sure there are some people that carry 8,000. Yes, let me just make that clear. The 6,000 naira are for the commercial drivers on the road. If you're going to use any of the, branded transport companies and all that, I think it's around 8,000 naira thereabout is what they charge. This is where we are. But there are some people in the transport sector that are doing a great job at making us have the best form of comfort while we enjoy our journey, that are saying they haven't seen this increase reflect in their own corner. I'm talking about those drivers that are into the e-hailing services. They have quite a number of e-hailing companies. We have Uber, we have Bolt, we have there used to be Palm Drive. I don't know if that still exists. There's plenty of them that scattered across different parts of the country. Yeah, in River State, two very popular ones would be Bolt and Uber. I don't know if Uber has done any reflection with its prices that would tally with the current situation of pump price. But I know that for Bolt, some of the drivers have been saying that, well, this is how the situation is for us. The company hasn't done anything. And I also gathered that the drivers in Lagos have gotten the company to adjust the prices. All of these the Bolt drivers would have to confirm for us. Unfortunately, they are not here. I was supposed to have one of them who formed their association, the founder of the association, Blessing Igere, was supposed to be here for the conversation at 8. Unfortunately, he's running very late. The last time he spoke to me, he said he was at Rumola, which technically means he might not even make it for this conversation. But we're going to still, regardless, look at some of the issues that concern them. I've noticed, I don't know if you have, I noticed something that when I now book a ride, a boat ride, I have to call out the brand because, I mean, that's the only way we can have this conversation properly. The drivers, some of them now tell you that you have to pay extra money added to the money that the app has already billed you. So if you book the ride, for instance, from, let's say, here to Rumo-Koro, and let's say the app, you're seeing 1,000 naira, then you get into your driver arrives and then you're on your way and he's telling you that you have to add 10% or 20% to that money, that this is something that the drivers have agreed collectively. And in my head, the first time it happened, I didn't understand. It's like, the drivers held a meeting and agreed it, or you and the company agreed this, or the company agreed this. Like, and they say, well, it's the petrol situation. The company hasn't done anything with regards to increasing the charges, and we are running at a huge loss. So this is perhaps why we're doing this, so that we can be able to stay in business and make profit out of the business. That's what they say. Now, we also know that the company, various e-hailing companies, not just Bolt, Uber, and the rest of them, all have charges that they take. Drivers, depending on the platform you're using, get 20% to themselves, and the company takes 80%. In some cases, drivers get 40%, the company takes 60%, or drivers get 30%, the company takes 70%. And so some of them are saying the companies are taking too much charges. If this is going to work, the company needs to cut down on the charges that they take. We are the drivers doing the work. We're the ones spending the money, maintaining our vehicles, and etc., etc. So that means that we should get more charges to ourselves. Which brings us to the question I'm asking this morning. Many would not agree for e-hailing drivers to increase fee, for the companies to increase the fee, because it means it's going to be very, very expensive, extra expensive. If you're spending 1,000 naira to get to a certain location, you might have to spend double that amount. Maybe you're just going from here to Rimokura and you need to pay 2,000 because you're booking a ride. That is going to be, enormous for a lot of customers, I'm sure, because we're all very much affected by what's happening in the economy with regards to the petrol situation. So now we're asking the question. And get onto Facebook and let us know what your thoughts are. It's Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Before we go to the phone lines, share with us this. Should the companies, the e-hailing companies, I'm talking about the Ubers, the Bolts, and the rest of them, should they cut down on their charges? Should they cut down on the percentage that they take and leave the price the way it is, but then give the drivers more percentage, okay? Or should they increase the prices? That is the question. And we need you people to, as the listener and the consumers, you use these apps. For those of us who use them, let us know. Should the e-hailing companies increase the percentage for drivers as a way to say, we are seeing that the price of petrol has gone up, and that means that you will need more? If we increase the charges, well, the people are also affected by this and might not have the money to spend because it's going to be really expensive. So should they consider increasing the percentage for drivers and leave the price the same? Or should they leave the percentage for drivers the same as it is now, but increase the charges for a ride? So let's say if you pay 1,000 naira, for instance, if you're going to from here to the location area, it will cost you about 900. It used to be 900, but now with this development, it might cost you 18 thereabout. There's also the talks that the company has increased the fares already, because some people, including myself, have used the app, and when I go to places I've been going before, the prices are no more the same. There's been slight differences of about 400, 300, 500 naira, as the case may be. But the drivers are saying that is not the case. Well, let us know on social media. So get on Facebook and share with us. Should the percentages for drivers be increased and the prices left the same, or should the companies consider increasing the prices so the drivers can meet up? What do you think? On Facebook, it's Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. On Twitter, it is Nigeria Info PH. Those are the handles. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0809 030 6416. We see that commercial drivers have all increased their fares. I was running down the prices and changes from different locations in Port Harcourt metropolis, and even outside Port Harcourt. If you're traveling to parts of the west, southwest, or Ondo, 18,000 naira is what they're going to charge you now. It used to be 13,000. Now it's 18,000. If you're going to Ibadan, it's now 17,000. It used to be 14,000. The prices are changing drastically. Bielsa is now 3,000 naira. That is what it is at the moment. So for e-hailing drivers, should the companies also consider increasing their charges for fares, or should they instead increase the percentage that drivers get? That is our question. Let us know using any of the handles and social media. Facebook, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Twitter, Nigeria Info PH. WhatsApp 0809 030 6416. Those are the various means to send your thoughts across to us. We'll go on a very short commercial. When we finish, we'll continue this conversation. Stay tuned.
My guy, waiting the path now. Oh, my shit, don't see the result. Guy, no be smart.
On the show this morning by an e-hailing cab driver for one of the e-hailing companies. Prince Wuga is a Bolt driver. He's speaking with us via telephone. Good morning, Mr. Prince. How are you?
Good morning.
Okay, so you're live on Nigeria Info at the moment, Port Harcourt, and we're also streaming on Facebook and Twitter. So for those who are listening, you can join in on the conversation in either of the social media platforms. On Facebook, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. On Twitter, Nigeria Info PH. Quickly now to you, Prince. So the situation with e-hailing drivers, let's be precise, for the company, one of the companies you work with, you work for both. Which of the companies are you driving for?
I run for both and Uber.
Okay, Bolt and Uber. What's
Yeah.
the situation like now since the increase in the price of petrol? Because we know that for commercial drivers that we've seen quite a huge difference in the increase in price. Is that same for you e-hailing drivers?
Yeah, so far so good right now. We've not been increment in our fare. Most times when you carry clients and you try to tell them like they should add a flat charge for you to boost your transportation. So you know that's paying what they see in the app. So that's why we're talking to the company, the airport, and increase the fare price so that because right now, we're buying fuel for 11 naira a liter. At the end of the day, you're still kind of the same price you're kind of clients.
All right, Prince, sorry to interrupt you, but you might need to be a bit more audible. I think you're not speaking properly to your phone, so we can't really get you clearly. So please, if possible, change your environment and try to be more audible as you're speaking to your phone. Thank you very much. So you're saying that you've had meetings with the company, and please turn down the volume of your radio. I think you're standing close to the radio. It's static, and we'll get to the whole back. Please turn it off completely. You said you have spoken with the company, have you, with regards to doing something with the price so it tallies with the petrol situation?
Yeah, I wanted to send the mail across to them so that they could do something with the price. Because the price right now we're buying for petrol is the same as buying way back before. So we expected them to add some money to our fares. Because we can't buy fuel for 5 to 11 and end of the day you're buying clients for the same price as buying a client. We're buying fuel for 189 or 200.
And what's the company's response?
They'll get back to us and they'll look into it. So we're still waiting for them to make an improvement to that.
We heard reports that your colleagues in Lagos State seem to have seen some sort of changes with their prices to tally with the current reality. Can you confirm whether this is correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. That's in Lagos, but Port Harcourt, we've not seen anything so far yet.
So why is there some sort of why isn't it an all across board adjustment? Why is the adjustment just for Lagos State, or are there other states where such adjustments have also been implemented?
Yeah, because just like I was telling you earlier, like Port Harcourt has a different body controlling Port Harcourt branch, so the person who controls Port Harcourt does not control Lagos.
So you're saying that the delay might be from whoever is in charge of the Port Harcourt branch of the company?
Center, yeah, I guess.
And you'd have no direct links to the headquarters in Lagos?
Yeah, yes.
Also confirm, some Bolt drivers, the few times I've used the app recently, I've said to me that, well, drivers had an agreement that they would have to ask passengers to add 20% or 10% to the monies that they are being charged on the app. Is this correct? The drivers have such a conversation.
But for I know, most times, even when you tell your clients to add something for you, they won't just agree. They just don't want to pay something for regards to the app or what the app is giving them. So at the end of the day, most of them will either cancel the ride. You end up losing that client for it. And the more you cancel your ride on both apps, the more your driver scores are reduced.
But do you think that's the best approach for drivers to on their own have a meeting and then you now charge passengers to add extra money to what the ad different from
we're
the app is showing?
Yeah, we're looking at having a meeting very soon. Like I think in the middle of next week, we're going to have a meeting very soon.
And what's the agenda on that meeting? What do you seek to arrive at?
It's to find this fair increment and the price they're giving.
And this meeting, is it going to be with the company or just drivers in Port Harcourt?
No, just drivers for now. Let's come to an agreement on something. Because it's nice when some sort of drivers are collecting just what they want to collect and other drivers are not collecting what they want to collect. So it's better we come to an agreement and have an agreement that, okay, we're going to have this agreement out. Whatever we're collecting, this is what we're going to add to the charge of the fare.
Have you also considered that the passengers that you would carry are also in the same economy where they are affected by the petrol price, and hence for some of them it would be very difficult to want to pay whatever amount of money that you will be adding? Don't you think the best approach would be to get directly to the headquarters of your company and fix this from the source? Yeah,
that's why I just send a mail to them, and I guess they're working on it anyway. I guess they're working on it from the level they're going to add something to it. So I guess they're working on it, but I just wish it to come on time.
All right, quickly. I'm looking at my phone now. I just turned on my app. And a place I used to go to before where they used to charge 900, it's now costing 1,300 naira. And this was the same case 2 days ago. And I mean, that would only mean one thing to me, that some amount of change has been made. Can you verify? Because it's now confusing where some people are saying, well, there's no change at all from the company. But then as passengers, we know where we go to before and how much it cost and what it cost us now. And we're seeing slight changes sometimes, although it varies, because I know that some other times, like yesterday when I tried it, it was still 900, but the day before it was 1,300. I tried it this morning, it was 1,300. So what is the situation? Is it what could be responsible for that?
Yes, in that scenario, I'm gonna say this is weekend, and weekend you have surge. They call surge. Surge is like once it's weekend and your prices for every trip is increased. You can compare Saturdays and Fridays and Saturdays to like regular Mondays and Tuesdays. So I believe because it's weekend and maybe the surge is out there. But I'll still confirm the very to find out. So I'll watch it up to let watch it down, find out places I go to for a certain amount of money and see if it has been changed. Because like I said, I'm not seeing any changes.
Okay. And now, so you've concluded that drivers should have a meeting and you perhaps would be charging extra on your own accord in agreement, all the drivers. That's what you plan to do to tackle this problem?
Yeah, the meeting will not come up if there will not have a change in the transportation fare. But if the change is applied, we don't think we need to add the extra money for them. We'll work with the company with the amount they come to go.
There's a question we're asking online, and I'd like you as a driver for that particular company to respond as an e-hailing driver. Which would you prefer? That the companies decide to say they would increase the percentage accrued to drivers and leave the price the same, or the company increase the price and drivers still have the same old percentage that they usually get? The reason why we're posing this question is because the customer as well is affected by the same petrol increase. So not everybody would have that money to spend. And you know, for the e-hailing companies, the prices for fares are usually way higher. I mean, if 3,000 naira takes a person to Bayelsa, for instance, using commercial vehicles, if you're going to take any of the Bolt or Uber or any of the other companies, I mean, that amount of money might take you from here to maybe anywhere in town. And which would be quite expensive if you're going to look at it with the current petrol price. Okay. So which would you prefer, and which would you see as fair? The companies keeping the prices the same but increasing the percentage for drivers, or increasing the price and drivers will still stick with old percentage that they get?
Yeah, on that I would still prefer to increase the price and leave the old percentage, because if you increase the price and you increase the percentage, it's almost the same thing, because we end up not getting anything much in our hands. So I think you can increase the price and still leave us on the old percentage too. Let's see work on the old percentage.
Okay, all right. Just stay on the line for us. We'll go to the phone lines and take some calls from our listener who might have a few questions for you drivers, and let's hear what their thoughts are. You've listened to a Bolt driver here in Port Harcourt and his opinion. Unfortunately, I was supposed to have Blessing Igere with me on the show this morning, but then he didn't make it. I don't know, whatever reasons he said. He was aware that this program was supposed to be for 8 o'clock and was supposed to be here way before 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, he isn't here. I don't know whether it's going to make it still or not. Okay. So we had to opt for calling you via telephone instead. Let's hear from our listener. 0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0003 are the numbers to call. 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. Let's get onto the phone lines. You just stay on for us so you can respond to some of the questions that would be asked by the listener. Letambari is calling from Bori. Letambari, good morning and straight to the point, please.
Good morning, it's Andrew.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. First, I want to ask a question and also contribute. First, let me say that the way you were mentioning something, you said Bori from refinery to Bori is 200 naira. Did you say something like that?
From refinery to Bori? I didn't say that though.
Okay,
refinery junction to Bori is 400 naira.
Refinery junction
to Bori, 400 naira. 400 naira.
Before now, 800.
Oh my goodness. Letambari, call us. I think he's saying that it's now 800 naira. Would have to confirm. As at the time we filed in this report, it was 400 naira. It used to be 200. Felix is in Elele1. Felix, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Ifeanyi Andrew.
You're welcome.
To your guest. Yeah,
good morning.
First of all, before I ask the question, it's very simple. The increment should be on the part of the price, not on the percentage they give to both. I don't think they give much as a percentage, and it will not reflect the increment on the fuel price. All other transport agencies and commercial drivers have increased their own price, so it will only be fair if they increase it at least by maybe 10 to 20% to reflect the present realities. I want to ask him a simple question. I know that one of the major jobs that these e-hailing companies do for them is to connect them to their clients. But aside connecting them to their clients, are there other welfare that they give to the drivers? Maybe the driver have issues with some cars on the roads or challenges with the police and all that. Do they come and help them? Because I think that they are supposed to be taking care of the welfare of the drivers aside, connecting them to their clients.
No, they don't.
Okay, Felix, thank you very much. We're going to get response from you, Mr. Uga, in a matter of moments. Let's hear from George in Woji. Hello, George.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
To Mr. Andrew.
Yes, you're on to Nigeria Info. Go ahead.
Good morning, Nigeria Info. Yeah, good morning, the guy that's been speaking.
Good morning.
I'm listening to him quite well. I'm also an e-hailing driver, and I want to set some points clear here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. From what he talked about, like you earlier mentioned that the fare you used to pay from your house to wherever you're going to used to be 900 naira, but you discover it has increased to 1,000, whatever you said. I don't know. I can't remember anymore. But I want to make you understand that there are some periods they call peak periods that have surge. So if you have a change in the price of the ride you're taking, maybe you took it yesterday and the price differs or there's an increment, that means there is surge. So to the best of my understanding, to the best of my knowledge, both has not increased the price for us. Now, on the other hand, the other commercial drivers, they do the increment by themselves. But both regulate how much is being given to us, which is not right. I don't think they'll be able to give prices that will meet up with the present reality. If you look at how much the fuel pump price has increased right now, you discover that it's not something someone will stay somewhere and determine how much someone will charge per trip. Remember, the commercial drivers, they stay at the point and they pick the passengers and they move to the destination and they drop the passenger. But we will have to drive down to the person's destination. Sometimes it's 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, 5. In fact, it's up to 12 kilometers. We are burning our fuel to get to that point to pick up a particular passenger. I will take them from a pick-up point, no matter how bad the road is. I will take them to the destination. We get to their house, even more than where they booked on that particular ride. So, both should be, or e-hailing company should have a stakeholders meeting with people and discuss this extensively, know our plight, and also know how to make the increments so that it should be able to meet up with the present challenges we are facing right now.
George, thank you very much.
In respect to the increment in
Let's go to Felix.
The price of fuel pump price.
In Rukboku, thank you very much, George. Felix, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome. Andrew. Yes, go on.
I want to contribute to the matter being discussed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also an e-hailing driver.
Okay.
I think it's quite not been easy for drivers. For me, like over 3 days now, I've not been able to come outside to do my job because the fuel issues has really affected our income. And if for me, normally if I want to fill my tank, I do about 12,000 naira. And if I'm doing 12,000 naira, at the end of the day, it might take me like a day and a half to exhaust it, and end up making like 40,000 naira. And currently, if I want to fill that same tank, I'll buy it for 32,000 naira to fill my tank for 32,000 naira. And if I'm paying both is paid, because I earlier said some both is taking the 85%, 50%. That's not true. What both takes is 25%. Can you hear me?
Okay, you say okay.
You are listening.
Go ahead.
Both take 25% of such income. And if I've done like 40K and both is taking 25% of that money, invariably I'm left with something with nothing, because I had to refill my tank for like 32,000 naira, and both are taking almost 10,000 naira from that money. How do I now remit for my principal? How do I keep something for myself? You find out that you basically are not making anything. So we think it is important that both have to review that price. For me, for like 30% increment should be enough. So that if we are doing a job, we still know that we have something to keep for ourselves. That's just my take on it.
All right, let's go to Akbajo now. Bentem, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, go ahead. Good morning.
All right. I just want to make a little contribution in regards to most of the things you said. Number one, we talked about the fare, just like maybe probably somebody is paying 5,000 naira from here to Warri, and how expensive it will be when the person moves good. Now, number one, you take note that if a taxi driver is taking people to Warri, you have probably 5 passengers the person is going to take to Warri, and a single individual is booking you for comfort from here to Warri. You say you're going to be out 5,000 naira, the same fuel you guys are using, and the same amount he charged from these people is going to put them together. Let's say 5,000 naira times 5 is 25,000 naira. Are you getting it? That aside, you talked about the increment you probably day before yesterday, and you see that it fluctuated. I don't want to dwell so much on the aspect of surge and the rest of the thing. It's just simple. Why it fluctuated is that the price has not been increased. It's just the amount of riders on that certain environment which you are that makes the price to come up. So when there is high in demand, you see that there will be a little step up of that amount. And mind you, as the step up is probably the 1,300, your amount of percentage also for both steps up. There is no additional or bonus for any other thing.
I think we get your point on that.
Let's take, for instance, we won't talk about the fuel.
We get your point, Bentem. We have to move on. Let's go to Alu. We have more callers on the line. Tony, good morning.
Okay, good morning.
Okay, straight to the point, please.
And you are just in the studio. Morning. Okay, I'm an e-hailing driver too.
Okay.
And I want to put in my opinion. Look at this. The whole situation is tough and hard. Quite understandable. But as a driver and having gone through the laws of e-hailing, the methodology some of the drivers chose to go about it is not the best. Now, if somebody books a ride and the ride is showing 1.5, that is what the person is meant to pay. Now, it is very necessary that price goes up because of the current fuel hike. But the drivers should be able to channel their flight to the e-hailing companies. If we think that they are not doing it very fast as required, then we down tools. The person you are asking to add price, you don't know his own challenge. But by the time the app companies do the right thing by effecting the price change of fuel, when the person is booking ride, you see the actual price they are going to pay. Maybe a ride of 1.5 will now be showing you 3.7 or 3.5. You now choose whether to book or not. But calling someone on phone, telling the person to add money, is kind of embarrassing. It's not a roadside taxi. I don't do that.
If I feel what I get with the current fuel price is not enough for me, I off my app and go home. After the work is voluntary, nobody is forcing you to do it. Whether you're on app or not, the company will not punish you. So I want to use this medium to charge all the drivers. If they want to say that, do it politely and in a way that is very okay. I have for some of my riders who add money for me, but I don't put it up first. I move with you, we keep discussing. Some of them will be the ones to ask me, how are you coping with the thing? Because my AC is on, I'm up, my service is up to standard. From the discussion, the person will choose to add money. And most times they add more than what you would have asked them to add if you were to tell them. So let's channel our energy to the app companies and make them effect the change as soon as possible.
Thank you very much, Tony. We'll see if we can take... we've got plenty of calls coming in. I'll see how many more I can take. I'll do 2 more. Raphael and OG. Raphael from Rubibekwe, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Andrew.
You're welcome. Go on.
And good morning to your guest. Mr. Andrew, I'm a driver too. And we know what is going on. Just to buttress the point that one of your callers made earlier, we have to drive far to pick up. And that distance is not in the money in the charge that will be paid to you. So, like he said, something really has to be done because if we are to continue like this, there is serious problem. Then asking maybe riders for monies to be added. I had that experience yesterday. My first 3 rides, voluntarily they did, just like the last caller mentioned. They were the ones that were like, bros, how are they cope and all that. Okay, when I don't.
Oh my goodness, Raphael, sorry, I think you got disconnected by your service provider. Ado George, OG's on the line. That's the last call we'll take on this segment of the Morning Crossfire. OG, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, go on. Okay.
Okay. First of all, it seems some riders they are not aware of the situation. So, with the current price of fuel, it is impossible for Bolt and Uber drivers, like it's possible for them to be in business with the current fuel price and Bolt rates. So, secondly, because Bolt charge 25% commission, so I would suggest they reduce it from 25% to 15%. Then they should increase the fare by 1.4. So it will be easy for the riders and it will be fair for the drivers too. So
all right, OG, thank you very much. I'll take that as your contribution. Let's get back to my guest on the line. Wuga, you listen to what most of them have said. Hello, Prince. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So quickly, let's get your response to this. First, do you get any other benefits from the companies, any of the e-hailing companies that you work with, aside linking you up to the clients? That's one of the questions.
Yeah. Okay, the benefits you get is like probably most times you have a ride like you can have like you can achieve like 12, 20 depending on how it comes out for you in a week. If you can get that complete that structure side in a week, for example, then you're able to get a benefit from the company. But aside that, there's no other benefits from the company.
So no welfare package or any of such for drivers who use any of the e-hailing apps?
No.
What about the one of the callers also talked about if you don't like the conditions on this app, why not leave and use another one? Instead of deciding to say, we're going to hold a meeting and get the drivers to ask customers to pay a certain amount added to what they originally have.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with how you're being treated by your employer here, you can just leave and join another e-hailing company.
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct about in Port Harcourt, they will know most of the app here. The e-hailing driving company in Port Harcourt is more like Bolt and Uber. That's the majority in Port Harcourt. Unlike Lagos, where you have the Palm Drive, you have Uber, you have Bolt, you have some other e-hailing companies.
But don't you think that
is more dominated by the...
Aren't the e-hailing companies that are popular now popular because you as drivers are using them?
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
But most of the clients. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you wanted to add something? Go ahead.
Yeah, most of the clients here too don't have other companies to. They're probably used to the Bolt and Uber app.
Isn't that because you are not using it? Maybe it's because they know that there are no drivers using those apps. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Wuga, for your time. Pretty sure you try to let us know what comes up. If you try to get in touch with the company, we'll keep following up on this to know any new developments.
Yeah.
Thank you once again for your time.
Thank you very much.
A very short commercial now in the next 1 minute. And then when we're done with that, we'll take some of the messages on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Twitter. And before we call it a day on the Morning Crossfire, stay tuned. Plenty of them. Bright Ibuchi says, I'm an e-hailing driver, precisely Bolt here in Port Harcourt. My brother, the people in charge of that company here in Port Harcourt are not really helpful to their drivers. Mr. Tony Chuks Onwunali, that is the truth. If you don't like, go home. It's not by force. Okay, this one says, I think Mr. Tony is right. If you don't like, go home. It's not by force. Thank God says Keke drivers have adjusted their seats. They are now carrying 2 passengers in the front, 3 at the back to meet up their target. Ibosie Uchenna says, imagine after waiting for a client who is taking her children to school, come out trip price before starting the journey, 700 naira after waiting 15 minutes, then top up 300 naira, making it 1,000 after subtracting 215 naira from this trip. That was at 250 naira per litre for fuel. Now a litre is 550 naira. There's also another thing. When people book the rides, the app will tell you the closest driver is this 2 minutes, 3 minutes away. It shows you 2 minutes, 3 minutes away, and then how would you blame the customer if the driver now arrives in 3 hours or 30 minutes time when the app had said, 2 minutes away, closest driver? On WhatsApp, this one here says, this approach, says Bolt gives HMO to drivers. You did not include your name. I think e-hailing companies should do it both ways. Reduce commission and increase the fare a little, because if they increase the fare as per the current price of petrol, believe me, it will be too expensive to afford. That's the point I'm making. If they are going to increase the fare, looking at the reality on ground, they might just run out of business. This one says, I was talking with the Bolt driver I hired recently that if not that the functionalities of Bolt app is controlled from Western country, Nigerian drivers would have reconfigured it to suit their fraudulent intents. OB sent this one in. Another message. This message here says, the change in price is not an adjustment in price from the company. It's market forces. Many drivers have turned off their apps and stopped working. So because there are now fewer drivers on the road, the demand is more than the supply. These companies, some of them are very insensitive. I'll just state this again. Whether you're driving for Uber, you're driving for Bolt, you're driving for Palm Drive, you're driving for whoever, if you are not comfortable with how they are treating you, they're not tying your legs and your hands there. My brother, uninstall the app from your phone and do something else, or join another company if you really want to still drive. It's as simple as that. Passengers will go to the app if drivers are available. The reason why passengers don't come is because drivers are not available. The apps that are popular now, some years back, those apps were not the ones that were popular. There's one popular one that came in first at the time. People were using that one because that was the one that had drivers. It is just simple market forces and simple economics. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. Thank God again it's Friday. Jude with Hello Port Harcourt, and you know how Fridays can be when Jude is on Hello Port Harcourt. So stick around. It's going to be fun. I'm pretty sure. I can guarantee that. My name is Ifeemi Andrew on all social media platforms. Ifeemi Andrew on Ifeemi Andrew Official on Instagram and on Twitter. Ifeemi Andrew 1 on TikTok. Good morning. Have a great day ahead.